Hello and welcome. It's The Chat. I am Manny. My guest on the program is an outstanding personality I admire a great deal. She spent about 15 years as a practicing journalist asking the questions. And now as a politician, she's answering the questions.
Abike Dabiri-Erewa is a journalist by training, a broadcaster, politician, pioneer executive chairman and CEO of the Nigerians and Diaspora Commission NIDCOM. She was born in Jos, Plateau State. Abike is an indigene of Ikorodu, Lagos State. She attended Maryland Private School Ikeja for her primary education and St. Teresa's College Ibadan for her secondary education. She later attended the University of Ife, where she obtained a degree in English language. She also obtained a postgraduate diploma and master's degree in mass communication from the University of Lagos. Abike is an alumnus of Harvard Kennedy School of Governance in the United States. Fondly called Mother Teresa of the Tube, Abike was posted to the State House as the correspondent to the former First Lady, Mrs. Mariam Babangida, where she covered the First Lady's pet project, Better Life for Rural Women program. With a career in journalism spanning over a decade, Abike has inspired many with her human angle stories, anchoring the popular NTA network program Newsline alongside Frank Olize. Abike retired from journalism and went on to represent the people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency at the Federal House of Representatives in June 2003. While in the House, she served as Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs. During this time, she sponsored a bill to ensure integration of Nigerians living with disabilities and to eliminate discrimination against them. She also sponsored the Freedom of Information Bill and the Violence Against Persons Bill, which have both been signed into law in Nigeria. In June 2008, she served as the Chairman, House Committee on Diaspora Affairs, and her major goal was advocating justice and fairness for Nigerians abroad. In 2019, she was confirmed as the Chairman and CEO of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission. Abike is a recipient of several international and local awards. Abike Dabiri-Erewa is married with kids.
Welcome to the program, Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa.
Nice to be with you, Manny. And you have set the standards in journalism, so I admire you too.
Oh my goodness.
And it's such a privilege to have you.
What a way to start.
To have this conversation.
You worked in the NTA for 15 years, asking the questions. You know?
I still ask the questions, I try to answer the questions, but most importantly is that once a journalist, always a journalist.
Will there be another career after this? Are you going back to journalism after?
I'll do things that I'll just enjoy doing, maybe since it's like a hobby.
You have worked with the First Lady and you are now working with the President.
Lucky me. Some of those things one did on television, I mean, you just thank God you had the privilege of being able to do those things. You know, like there was a girl who was raped by two men in the same apartment. She was an 11-year-old girl. And what I did was you go beyond the call of duty. So what I did was to get her away from that environment, which meant as a journalist, you know, after my job at the NTA, I went back to the family, got the parents away from that home, from that place, and mentioned the girls' school. And, you know, in doing that, you know, I just stuck up with her and then saw her through her education, including, you know, university, and she graduated, I think 3 years ago, now taking up journalism as a profession and all that, and you're still trying to help her get a job there. Those things just, you know, make you happy, yes. And then, you know, there's nothing in giving back.
How did your upbringing influence some of these things?
Yeah, I think that would be the combination of my parents. My mother would tell you that she has this philosophy, and she says it in her, she was a teacher. They call her kind teacher. She was a teacher who, you know, took every child as hers and, you know, did more than just being a teacher. So, and she would say, in my life, I will not do evil or hatred against anybody. That's why she put it. In other words, you know, try to be as kind as you can to every other person. And my father too, strict disciplinarian, but with a strict disciplinarian and tight with money.
I just don't want to wish away your period in journalism, because before you went into the not I almost said White House, but it was Dodham Barracks. Or was it Dodham Barracks?
Dodham Barracks. I was posted to the former First Lady, may I so rest in peace, amazing woman, Mrs. Miriam Babangida. So we were the actually we moved from Dodham Barracks to Abuja with them. I remember December 12th. They said everybody is going to Abuja. I was like, maybe it will be next year. They had been talking about Abuja, but it never happened. But they just said December 12th, and it became reality. There we were in those Air Force planes, Charlie C-130. Came to Abuja with all our things and everything.
So you came, you worked with the First Lady, former First Lady. What was your experience working with her?
Fantastic. I'm very sure that, working with her on the Better Life program helped me in politics.
Really?
And I kept in touch with her because she started the Better Life program, and we're touring the whole of Nigeria to feel the impact of the program. So there was I, myself, Shukwa Babalola of NTA, Mr. Harrison of Daily Times, Mr. Omoni, who was a state house photographer then. We went around the whole of Nigeria. So for me, for politics, it was easy for me to just get on the field and decide that I'm making a difference in the lives of individuals. Ms. Babangida took me like her personal staff and dealt with me that way, which I truly appreciated. And then I learned a lot of things, discipline, sometimes you think somebody is being hard, but they're making you a better person.
So, but when did politics come to your mind? Is it after working with the First Lady, Mrs. Miriam Babangida, or?
No, after the First Lady, they moved to Mina. Then I came back. I was now posted to Newsline. I had finished my tour of duty. Then when I was on Newsline, working with Frank Olize, we dealt with human angle stories, that's where I did all these stories of rape, miracle baby, nailed with the head boss, quite a lot of stories, that...
Which one was the most outstanding?
It has to be Miracle Baby because it took me 8 years.
Recall that day that you made that decision to go into politics.
I can't remember that day, but I remember incidents leading to that day. Now Bishop Kuka, then Reverend Father Kuka, I just got a letter. He had nominated me for a program at Harvard University, at the Kennedy School of Government. And I'm like, and those days, I don't know about now, to go to those programs at Harvard, you needed to be nominated, not the ones that people just pay anyhow, Everybody say, you're going to this and that.
And attend 2-day courses.
2-day courses.
They have they claim to have attended Harvard.
I didn't say so.
What, you tend to agree with me.
So, anyway, Bishop Kuka, who had, very respectable, you needed someone to say, let this person attend this program. And he did. And I felt elated that, And so I went for the program, and I was the only journalist. But when I came back from Harvard, I wasn't presenting Newsline anymore. It was like, maybe next week.
Bigger than NTA.
No, I didn't. I wasn't allowed to present Newsline anymore.
Really?
And to me, it didn't matter. It's not my
why
father's.
Was that so?
No, I don't know. I don't want to go into all that politics. It's not my father's job. It's a job I'm doing. It's a public service. So one day I just got up, went to Ikorodu, my constituency. So I started attending ward meetings. But because I had the time to do it, I wasn't given any responsibility except a report a week. So I started attending ward meeting, and I was enjoying it. I'm sitting with market women, with the groundnut seller, with the cola nut seller.
Did you do this for?
I did that for about 4 months.
4 months.
And I went to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was the governor of Lagos State then, and I just told him I wanted to contest, and he said, then I had to be, again, let your ambition be realistic. I chose House of Reps, achievable. House of Reps, number one, I chose Ikorodu. I could have done Ikorodu or Surulere. I looked at both. Ikorodu would be easier for me because the lady there had gone to the PDP. So there was really nobody occupying that position from my party. So Asiwaju gave me all the support. I said, really? I said, yes, sir. And he said, we need to encourage women like you, but do your work at the grassroots.
For goodness sake, if you had your way, you could have gone 5 times.
Yeah, but I didn't want to.
But you didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
Why?
And you see, that time, because number one, and I want the younger people to listen to this, after 3 terms, 12 years, really there was nothing to do in Parliament that would excite me anymore. 1, 2. Then I was able to ensure the Freedom of Information Bill was passed, the Violence Against Persons Bill was passed. So today I'll sit back and say 2 bills have become law in Nigeria, and 2 bills that have been very impactful, even though we are not using it enough.
Have we closed the case in South Africa now?
Well, at least it's not negative anymore. We have the president's visit and actions taken has actually been very, very positive. I just came back from South Africa. The Nigerians there are happy. The early warning signal mechanism is working. When something happens, the whistle is blown immediately. And now the South African police get involved. Before they look the other way. But now they've admitted it's a problem and they're dealing with it. So, and then for them, a policeman that has been on trial for a long time was eventually sentenced. And we kept saying, if there are consequences for actions, there will be results.
What are your
so we've made
xenophobia?
Well, it's not acceptable. I mean, Africa should be united. Nobody will develop Africa but ourselves. So if we are fighting each other on the continent, what do you want the world to do to us? Now it's a hostile world out there. And I keep telling Nigerians, for those of you going out seeking asylum, if you got it 10 years ago, you won't get it today. It's a very hostile world. They don't want you.
There was a time Nigeria too was, this issue of Ghana must go. It wasn't to do with xenophobia, was it?
I think the circumstances were a bit different. You were not killing anybody.
No, well, it looks like the claims are the same.
Whether it's Ghana must go then or Nigeria must go today, we don't need, we need to work together as an African continent. We need to, number one, have, a lot of things that should bind us together as Africans. Now, you know what is happening? The historic African diaspora, those whose ancestors were taken away as slaves years ago, they are now coming to Africa. They want to know where they came from. They are doing their DNA. Okay, they are from, I'm even told even Michelle Obama has Yoruba genetics. Bishop Jakes is Igbo. Dr. Anderson, who came for the Door of Return recently, is Igbo. So they are trying to trace their roots. No, they do their DNA. They do their DNA and tell us.
Yeah.
So the DNA is there. The lady who started DNA herself has Nigerian blood in her. So what I'm saying is that these people are now coming. They want to know their roots. They want to come back to the motherland. And they are doing everything. They're even struggling to make it happen. So, there will be many programs in that regard. So, you find them wanting to know whom, then we are fighting each other. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. So let's do everything we can to have a united Africa. We'll have issues, we'll have problems, but we don't need to fight one another. Whatever issues Ghana is having in Nigeria can be resolved. Wherever Nigerians are excessive, we should cut down on our excesses too. So let's just live as brothers and sisters and develop the continent. Nobody will do it for us but ourselves.
You are essentially a career woman.
I think so.
Because obviously, it was in South Africa that you found the man of your heart. While at work.
No, I wasn't. I was in Parliament. Then I wasn't. I just went to South Africa on a trip, and we happened to be on the same flight.
Is that work related?
No, not work related. Just went with a friend for some medicals, and I said, "Well, I'll have fun." And then there he was on the plane, and I think about 6 people came to talk to me that they just greeting me. Then this tall guy, he was tall. We exchanged numbers, and 3 weeks later, we sent a text message. But I know that text message will come 10 minutes to 9 every day. And I'll give monosyllabic answers. How are you? Fine. Then it became, but that's a style I think you men can younger ones can latch on. The text will come 10 minutes to 9 every day for about a month. Then I got used to that text coming in. Then my monosyllabic responses became longer. And we started a conversation.
As it became longer, apart from fine, how did it become longer?
Yeah, because we now started saying, so how was your day today? Then I go into, well. Then when the call started coming, we had conversations about everything in Nigeria, what was going on. But I never saw him for about 4 months. We were just talking, and then with the conversation, we had become friends. And then by the time I finally saw him, it was like I'd known him all along anyway. And then one thing led to another, and 12 years on, hey, I'm having a swell of a marriage.
Wow, congratulations. I do know that you have, is he a son?
Two.
Two? One of them got married.
Yeah, I'm a grandmother. Proudly so. Proudly so.
Wow. And you're too young to be a grandmother.
Abba, Uncle Manny or Manny. If I don't like it, can I pick another one?
No. Sorry about that.
Can I tear it?
No.
Okay. The question I like. How have you been able to balance work, being in active politics, and family life? For every woman, you try to strike a balance. It's very difficult. A lot of times we don't achieve 50-50, but we try. So what I try to do is balancing work and home meant sacrificing a lot of social activities. So if I'm not at work and I'm at home, spending quality time with my family.
Does Mr. Erewa like the food you cook? Or you never had time to be in the kitchen?
No. You see, the first thing I did for Mr. Erewa was to ensure that I cooked everything he ate. So I had to make him realize that, wait, I can cook anything.
Does he
cook
also?
But thereafter, he does.
Really?
He enjoys it. But thereafter, he just let me be and allowed others to do it. But the first thing is I can cook everything. I can do everything. And that's how I was raised. So as a woman, you can't be spoiled. Then your husband is the head of your household.
I can't see you in the kitchen.
Oh, then come home. I'll cook beans for you. Beans. My beans takes about 4 hours.
Is that your favorite food?
Yes, it is.
Just
but
beans.
you know, because I don't have the time, beans and dodo mixed together.
Wow.
But because I don't have that time to cook them after that, I don't do much beans. But I have to cook my beans myself.
What 5 characters describe you?
Wow. I think I'm honest. I'm generous, even to a fault.
You said so.
I'm a bit carefree. You know, there are some things, even my husband said you have to me a few days ago, you are too carefree. So I'm a bit carefree. There's some things I just feel, well, let it be. I think I have a high sense of integrity. You know, there are some things I will never do. I stand by my principles and my philosophy. Well, I won't steal. No matter the circumstances, I wasn't trained to be a thief. You know, like I said, I believe I'm relatively very honest.
Never. Your name
Number 5.
Listed amongst the corrupt people.
Inshallah. Just like yours will not.
Inshallah, just saying,
but you see, you have to. Why should it be? What's the point of, you know, doing everything in life and then ending up being a thief and spoiling your name?
Are you happy with
Number
the way
5.
the president? Okay, you're not finished, yeah?
Okay, go ahead.
One
I can't remember anymore. You've
Okay,
disrupted my
I'm
thought.
sorry. Are you happy with the way the president is dealing with corruption issues?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. At least we have a president who has started something, you know. Now you know that 4, 5, 10 years later, what you did in the past can come to haunt you. There's a lot more to be done, but Mr. President has started something. But here's the thing. It's not about Mr. President alone, about all of us, all Nigerians keen to the anti-corruption moves of the president. Some will say to me, I beg you, go with this corruption. That when my brother is there, I can steal. We can't continue like that. So yes, Mr. President has started something, and we should own the anti-corruption fight. Not just say, oh, it's only President Buhari that's fighting corruption. We should own the anti-corruption fight. We should stop worshiping money and power. You know, so people just come to you, they want to worship you because you have money, you have power, without asking how you got the money. I think those attitudes we should have the morals of those good old days where, you know, integrity does count and what you do with yourself does count. Not that everything is about money, money, money. So I think gradually sanity is coming back to the system and it should be sustained. And, you know, we should just build the country of our dreams that will make life comfortable for everybody. Where there will be infrastructure, you build people, you build infrastructure, you know, and you invest in
But what makes
people.
you sad about this country?
I see a lot of poverty around. Now, you see, not one person can do it. I mean, when you come into, if you're really into politics and you see people, some people just need 500 naira to survive. There are people who have lost their lives because they don't have 2,000 naira. There was a particular case I intervened in. She needed just 6,000 naira for medicals, else she would have died. You know, so the level of poverty, and then the level of the between the rich and the poor is so wide. And I remember that in my days at the NTA, I go to, you know, do a very human angle story in the morning, maybe dealing with poverty. But in the evening, I'm all dressed up with a bottle of champagne would have solved, a bottle of champagne at that dinner maybe cost 50,000 naira. And somebody I interviewed in the morning was just looking for 10,000 naira to survive. So the irony of life.
So what makes, you don't drink that?
So what I do is I always, talk to those to say, did you see this story? Can you help us out? And I got, a lot of results, and I was able to, get from them to help, those who needed. So I think the gap between the rich, the haves and the have-nots just needs to be bridged. Everybody should live a decent life, where you can wake up, just live a decent life. So we should have a society where we can all live decent lives, and that is why we should support what President Buhari is doing. The resources of Nigeria should be used to develop Nigeria and Nigerians, not for a few people to steal, So we really should support what he's doing.
How do you relax? I mean, aside from
come to think of it, I don't. My relaxation. Parties are no longer fun in Nigeria. I mean, by the time you were going to a party, you spend 3 hours in traffic, you get there are 2,000 people in the hall. So parties...
So what would make you relax?
Relaxation for me is just being home. I try to do my exercise, but that's not relaxation. That's the chore that you have to just do to keep fit and do a few things. But relaxation for me, I love to sing and dance. And I do it at home. Oh yes, I'll just be singing on my own.
You're a good singer.
And you didn't know I wanted to be a singer. Growing up in Ife, we had a band.
Well, thank
Live
God.
Wire band. We had a band in Ife, Live Wire band. We just had fun.
Yeah.
We just had fun. But I like to sing. I like to dance.
What kind of songs were you singing those days?
We used to rap.
Wow.
Rap.
It's not like you can rap,
but I'm tired of my children. They told me, Mommy, don't be doing those things again, because you're a grandmother now. Hadia will watch you rapping.
Just give them something to
Are you
have
ready
fun
to
with.
party and get on down and dance to the rhythm of the boogie beats? They call me the Abix B, you see, but of course that ain't no fun. Now you don't stop. Keep on. Get down to the beat, because the life wire band are gonna make you rock.
Wow.
Bam.
Wow.
Bam.
Could have been recorded. Excellent. That's good.
So yes, I love music. I love dancing. In fact, I can't help a good, beat. I'll just shake my body. So.
So you are about to be cast away to a desert for 10 days. So imagine you on a desert for 10 days. What are the kind of things that you take along? 5 things though?
So 5 things cast away. Is my phone allowed?
Yeah.
My phone, my prayer book, my Quran.
Yeah.
I have to have that with me. And my...
Do you pray regularly?
Oh, I'm a Muslim. I do my...
Even a Muslim, do you pray?
I do my 5 daily prayers. It's like a way of life. It's a way of life. It's like waking up and saying you're not brushing your teeth. Yeah. So you may not do that maybe you're doing something, like I've missed my prayer now because I'm talking to you, but I'll go back to do it. So definitely I'll have my prayer book with me, my Quran, and my scarf to do my prayers properly. So that definitely has to be with me. I've said 3 things, right? In a desert, I don't need my lipstick, do I? Music.
Yeah.
So my music, something Nigerian musical.
What kind of
all
music
our
would
different.
You take along?
I love a lot of Nigerian music. Maybe at this point in time, I'll take Tenny. And I shall sing. I'll take Tenny with me.
She's a very intelligent.
My baba no be dangote. So I'll take her with me. Okay. And maybe I'm not a movie person. But am I allowed to watch television in the desert? I have to listen to the news while I'm on the desert. Okay. So I'll take NTA with me, or channels. I have to listen to the news on the desert.
Is that 5?
5? You said no human being.
No human being allowed.
So I hope that makes sense. I don't know.
I mean, of course you can stay without a human being for 10 days.
As I said, could I take my husband or my kids or something? He said no.
No, thank you.
But I'll take my granddaughter. I'll take her dear. I'll take my granddaughter.
I'll take a picture of her. It's been nice talking to you. As always,
Thank
you are fun. Honorable Abike Dabiri. Erewa. I almost keep forgetting that Erewa.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
But you know, my husband will just tell you that it really doesn't matter. You're my wife anyway.
What do you call him? What pet word name?
Mr. Erewa.
Thank you so much, Abike.
We call him Uncle
Dabiri-Erewa.
Shegu.
Okay,
It's
Uncle
everybody's Uncle Shegu.
Shegu. Well, that's how it's been on the chat today. I'll see you next time. My
Thank
name
you.
is Manny. Bye. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.